Hey, what's going on? It's Stokely from Sauce on Delay. I listen to a few people. Dr. Berg. There's another name, Dr. What does he call himself? He doesn't give his real name. His name is Dr. What's his name? Dr. Innovate? I don't remember what his name is. Dr. something. Whatever he calls himself. Or he calls himself like the health doc or the something doc. The bald-headed guy on YouTube. Anyhow, there's a lot of people that talk about health stuff on the internet. And I give most of them a good ear. I give most of them an ear because, these things are beneficial. It's beneficial, if it's useful. If they're not trying to push a product too much, then I get kind of comfortable. If they start to push a product, then I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, is that all you really came to talk about? You know what I mean? Because even me, like Sauce on Delay, I mean, I guess I'm very much, I don't know. I'm not really pushing a product right now. I will be eventually, I guess. But I encountered another guy, a young guy named Yakhi Awakened. Very unsuspecting in his appearance. You would think that he was a rapper similar to Lil Wayne. But he's actually a doctor, and he has a lot of knowledge regarding just healing overall. From healing from electromagnetic, pH, hormone, dietary, solar, thought-wise, mentally, spiritually, I would kind of say not really. He doesn't really get into the religion part too much. I don't think he doesn't really deal with the religion portion of anything. Now, he may have speech and use terminologies that seem like some kind of religiosity, but I don't think it's anything religious at all. I think what he's doing is he's using words that are better for that are more healing words, more positive words. Now, he talks about a lot of things that I've encountered on the internet. He talks about magnetism, electromagnetic fields. He talks about pH. He talks about pesticides. He talks about getting sunlight. He talks about not smoking. He even says it's better to drink marijuana rather than smoke it. He talks about staying away from alcohol. He talks about getting exercise. He talks about getting away from processed foods. He talks about crystals. He talks about something I don't really understand called the lymphatic system, which runs around like the surface of your body. He talks about eating vegetarian, basically a plant-based diet. He calls it something else, but basically a plant-based diet. And like many of these health gurus, he agrees that eating meat is not the best. He talks about a variety of things about let me see, what else does he talk about? Yeah, that's primarily, well, not primarily. He talks about a wide variety of things in regards to health and healing, and herbs and plants and a variety of stuff. He's just a treasure trove of knowledge regarding health. And some of the stuff definitely seems fringe. Some of the stuff definitely seems out there if you're not really surrounding yourself with that kind of content, which I am basically doing. Because even some of the things that Dr. Berg says seems like what people would call fringe or conspiracy. Some of the things that the innovative doc or whatever his name is says seem strange. Some of the things that even Dr. Shiva says, who is Dr. Shiva is not really a medical doctor. I think his PhD is in PhD is in computer engineering. But you get to realize that a lot of these guys who are in engineering end up somehow mixed in with the medical field. And strangely enough, one day I was talking to I was talking to a guy. I was going to Subway, and I just struck up a conversation with this Italian gentleman, and he was telling me, you know what, you should become a lawyer. Anyhow, I don't, because he was like, I know a guy who studied engineering and he just became a lawyer and he's doing very well for himself. So that's what he was recommending for me, but I'm not that studious, and a lawyer got to do a lot of reading, and unless it's something I enjoy. Anyway, it's not about me. I'm talking about Yakhi Awakened. So his name is spelled Y-A-K-H-I followed by the word awakened. So I was watching one of his presentations today, and it was very interesting. It was very good. It confirmed, or I don't know if confirm is the right word. It basically, I would say, I want to use the word confirm, but confirmed is not the right word, because then if I say confirmed, then it's like I'm saying it's fact, and I don't want to necessarily say, but anyhow, irrespective of what the word I want to use, a lot of the things that he was talking about is fact. Strangely enough, in school, we studied piezometers. Earlier in this podcast, I was talking about resonance circuits. I was talking about oscillators. I was talking about crystals and how crystals are used to make resonance circuits, or RC circuits, which you can also accomplish by using a resistor and a capacitor. But he was talking about piezoelectric, the piezoelectric effect, where you hit a crystal and an electron flows through it. And he was basically he was explaining that you could hit a crystal and it can emit light. Well, that's the electron probably jumping out of it. So he speaks on a variety of topics, and he backs it up with modern, quote-unquote, conventional scientific facts from physics. Talks about electromagnetism. He talks about something that I'm becoming more intrigued about, that I don't fully understand, which is all these people talking about using sound, using vibration, which goes back to resonance and oscillators, using sound in order to heal. So he was discussing using sound waves to regrow teeth from people who had their teeth extracted. Even though we thought as adults we cannot regrow our teeth, they were able to regrow teeth using, and I don't see the backups to this information yet, but I'm going to look it up as soon as I get home. And he was saying that you can also use sound to repair bones. So nothing that he's saying should be considered controversial, because he backs it up. He has the backups. He doesn't present them all, but just about everything that he's saying is backed up by peer-reviewed science that's going on right now at quote-unquote conventional universities, research institutes, so on and so on and so forth. So, if you're interested in really finding out some more about some of the weird stuff that I talk about, that I don't know what I'm talking about, this guy knows what he's talking about. It would appear to me that he knows what he's talking about. These things just, I just encounter them online, and then I freestyle about them, but I really don't know what goes into the whole thing. But this guy knows what's going on with it, because he's done the research, he's put the time in and takes the responsibility of communicating it to others in a way where, he's taking responsibility. He's studying it so that he can be useful to his community. So, I think you should go check him out. I'm not taking any financial support or anything from him. I'm just really inspired by what he's doing, because for one thing, he looks like a little rapper, and you would thought that he was a clone of Lil Wayne, might be originally inspired by Lil Wayne, but now, through study, he's transformed to something past that. I mean, not to poo-poo Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is a pretty wise individual. Now, the things that he talks about may be not good. His drug use is not a good example. His a lot of things that he did were not a good example. But you got to understand that, from my limited understanding, he got shot at 8 years old, and he was basically adopted by the record company at 14 years old. So, I mean, really, what kind of environment would that be? And Birdman being, supposedly, according to Birdman, a street guy, what did you expect him to learn at 14 years old? It took him some time to come around and evolve. Anyhow, I'm just freestyling. Thanks for listening. Go check out that guy, Yakhi Awakened. Yakhi Awakened. He's on every platform.